saltiness to it. So this is going to go in. And in this jar, I actually saved some of the liquid from cooking that ham hock. Now, reminding you that if you do make this dish from scratch with dried peas, you're not going to have to save this water because everything is going to be in there. I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes to kind of just get everything moving. So we're going to get that in there, and we're just going to kind of keep an eye on the liquid. And I think I need a little bit more. I'm going to give it a little bit more liquid. You kind of want it almost covering that ham hock. Question. I just boiled it in water. Simmered it in water. You bring it up to a boil and then just cover it in a pot and just, it's already smoked. Yeah. Oh no. Oh no. This is something that can take, yeah, hour and a half to 2 hours. Right? So that's why I said if you're making this dish from scratch, it's a little bit, there's one step that you're taking that you're not cooking the ham hock. So I'm going to move this over here. We're just going to put it on low. And we are. Okay, so I know that's a little bit of a tease because, you know, there's. You guys want to eat? Get it. I get it. Oh, one more thing I forgot. Bay leaf. Can't forget the bay leaf. Next recipe. That's going to take a little bit of time. So my family is from the Caribbean. We're West Indian. One thing that will get your West Indian card revoked, you don't like hot sauce. Pepper sauce, sorry. There's a difference. I'm going to make a really quick one for you guys here. So we're going to start off with some onion. And since it's going in a blender, it's much easier when it's chopped before. Even though these blenders can do some really great things, you want to make sure that everything is chopped in there. It's just a little bit smoother. Now we got a little bit of garlic in there. Some ginger. I like to add a little bit of allspice. A little bit of cumin. Peppers, Scotch bonnet, very hot. I got about 8 of them in here. Get it all in there. Oh, I'm seeing some faces. People are just like, hey. But just keep in mind, there's other ingredients in there, and we're gonna try and tone it down a little bit. Fresh mango. Get the fresh mango. Don't buy frozen mango for this. The big difference is frozen mango, when it is picked and cut, it's not picked and cut when it is extremely like ripe and juicy and sweet. So you're not going to get those typical mango flavors. there. Even though we do have mango in there. How many people here like that? Some people are making, some people just actually didn't even make eye contact. Everybody's got to try it. I have some cider vinegar here. Vinegar is a key component in pepper sauce, hot sauce. It adds not only liquid, it adds a little bit of tang, and it also helps control the pH. So the big significance for pH when it comes to hot sauces is that it actually keeps it from going bad. So we get that in there. A little bit of water. Need a good one. There we go. Make sure we get a good blend on that. Give it a taste. How many people think that I put too much peppers in here? It's okay. It's okay. That's hot. Over here. Can I offer anyone a glass? No? Okay. Okay, so this sauce is very important in today's recipe because we're going to be using it as a condiment. We're also going to be using it as an ingredient. One moment, set up for the recipe. I think it's good. Recipes are guidelines, and if you're not extremely confident with what you're cooking, use a recipe. Use that recipe to build your confidence in the kitchen. But at some point, there's going to come that time when you don't have a recipe and you have a whole bunch of ingredients, and you just really have to trust your instincts. Most times, you know if it tastes bad, right? You don't gotta wait to serve it to people for them to tell you it tastes bad. Just adjust your seasonings before you're serving it to people. This next dish I really enjoy this next dish. This is something that's coming from a little bit of a traditional dish, but we're giving it a little bit of a modern twist. So chickpeas, garbanzo beans, whatever you want to call it. We are going to make some curry chickpeas with some sweet potatoes, some onions, a few other ingredients, and then we're going to finish it off by putting it into some puff pastry and baking it. It's a great appetizer. If you make it bigger, you can actually make it, part of like a nice lunch or a meal or anything. But today we're going to do it more of an appetizer. Getting my favorite coconut milk in there. It's not hot enough yet. Let's try it now. There we go. Okay, starting with onions. Onions have to be one of my favorite ingredients because they're so versatile. For one, it's the basis of so many dishes. You can do different things with them. You can pickle them. You can caramelize them. You can even salt them and just kind of let them drain the liquid out of it and still eat it. So there's so many different things you can do with that. Then some sweet potato. We got it diced nice and small. Reason being is because it's going in there with some chickpeas. So if you're going to notice, almost all of these ingredients here, these main ingredients, are the same size. The reason why we do that is because we want everything to cook at the same time. Get that sweet potato in there. Give it a little bit of a stir. Season from above. Does anyone know why I'm seasoning from up here as opposed to down here? The reason is because you season from higher up because you get better coverage of the dish. Right? If you season from right here, it's just going straight down. Season from up here, it's going everywhere. Onions are getting a little bit translucent here. Now I'm going to add garlic, ginger. Wow, it's smelling fantastic up here. I can still taste some of that pepper sauce too. Really good. We'll see who's brave enough. So one good thing about having these potatoes small too, like I said, they're going to cook around, closer to the same time as everything else. So they actually are getting quite soft right now. Next, I'm going to add those chickpeas. Now I have some curry powder, some garam masala, some coconut oil. Before I add this coconut oil, These spices need to get to know these ingredients. The party happening in this pot right here. Got to make sure everybody knows each other. Okay, so we got everything incorporated there. Now we're just going to give this a little bit of coconut milk. I think I need a tad bit of water. If you put a little bit of, maybe a quarter cup. There we go. Perfect. Everyone, this is Montgomery. He's great with measurements like quarter cup. So we're just going to get that in there. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. Watch on it. Going in. Don't worry, I'm not cutting it open. Still, but we're still going to get some. We're still going to get some flavor off this, right? Because the outside of the skin has oils too, so we're still going to get a little bit of flavor in it, but it's not going to kill you. I promise. I'll take it. Hey, look at this. We got quite a few people joining. Great. So this chickpea mixture has to cook a little bit. But I'm actually going to try one of these sweet potatoes to see how far ahead we have to. Almost done. I think this needs a little pinch of salt. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Yeah, if you guys want to come up and take a peek. You don't have to. You don't have to. Everyone's looking at each other like, who's going to go? Okay. I'm going to show everyone what's going on. And then I don't know if you guys can see right here. Right? So we just, it's really easy to cook. It doesn't take long. Now I'm going to put it to the side because what you want to do is you actually want that to cool down a little bit. Because this next step, I love working with puff pastry. It's just so easy. You know, you just gotta let it thaw out in time. Don't pull your puff pastry out of the freezer and then try and do something with it right away. It's just gonna break. You have to let it thaw. The good thing about it is it does not take long. Okay, I got this sheet of pastry. One thing you have to keep in mind is that when you do thaw it, you don't want it to sit too long, otherwise it starts to stick like it's doing right now. That's okay. Just like everything in cooking, you gotta have a little bit of patience. There we go. So what we're gonna do is we want to make little pockets with this. So I'm just gonna show you just a couple of them. We have some others in the oven ready for you guys. I'm actually gonna use this. It's just a lot easier. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to start with a little bit of egg wash here. This is one egg, about a teaspoon or two of water. There's no real recipe for this. You don't need to Google egg wash recipe. Take my word for it. And then we're just going to brush around the edges. Next, we just want to take maybe about a tablespoon or two of mixture. You want to get it right in the center there. Like I said, these are going to be some really like nice little appetizers. And then you just want to fold it over. You know, feel free to use like a little cookie cutter and put these into circles, but you know, for me, I like doing it this way. For one, there's just less waste. Just want to fork. Just get those edges down. Make sure everything is sealed. So this is kind of what we have right here. Then that same egg wash, everyone remembers that recipe, right? What was it? One egg, teaspoon or two of water, and just give it a good mix. And we're just gonna brush this on top with that egg wash. So what this is gonna do is just kind of give us like a nice, like golden type of color to it. And whenever I wrap anything in puff pastry, I like poking some holes in it. I know some recipes will tell you to kind of use your knife and just kind of do some cuts. I don't like doing that. I just like poking some holes in there. Always after the egg wash. Poke the holes and you put the egg wash on it. It's just going to close the hole. Anyone know why I would poke a few holes on top? Venting. Yeah, absolutely. This is going into the oven at a high heat, 400 degrees. It's only going to be a few minutes. I would say, well, maybe 6 to 8 minutes, possibly longer. You guys got to check it. Make sure you check it. And when that happens, is that if there's a lot of liquid inside, what it's going to do is it's just going to steam inside, and you're going to get like a big bubble, or sometimes everything is going to start coming out the sides. So poking a few holes on top just lets it vent, just lets the steam out, and still keeps everything moist inside. Let me check with Montgomery to see where your samples are. And is everyone going to have a little bit of hot sauce with it too? Getting it? Okay. One. That's enough hot sauce for one person, right? Okay, so I got a little bit of hot sauce here. We can kind of put at the edge of each table, and people can kind of help themselves. I'm going to put these at the end of each row. That way, you guys can have a little bit, put it on your plates, try it. I'm sure the puff pastry and curry chickpeas are going to kind of tame it down a little bit, but you should try it. You should try it. Good stuff. All right, now before we get on to this next dish, remember we got these red beans and rice going. So we definitely want to check in on that. Get you a camera shot soon. No, I lose food going around. but what's happening now is that all those ingredients we have here, they're just like cooking and stewing in that ham hock water. The ham hock is getting really like nice and soft. We're getting some really great flavors off of it. And this is almost ready. I know, I lost all attention. All the attention is gone. They're just like, what? Okay, so how are those chickpeas in puff pastry? Is everyone using a little bit of the pepper sauce with it as well? Right? See, don't be scared of the pepper sauce. Sometimes it's used as a condiment, right? It's not like it's a drink. It's a condiment.
That should be a warning label. Please
right?
do not drink me.
Please do not drink. Right?
We will continue. Everybody is enjoying the food, obviously. So where can we find you? Because I know you're everywhere.
Well, easiest place to find me is through social media.
Right.
So that is at Chef Rob Thomas on all platforms. And when you guys put your food down, you can all
subscribe and
yeah,
all that stuff.
And yeah, I guess one thing that you'll notice on my social media is that I really keep it about food and my experiences. I like using it as a platform to share my knowledge, my experience, and my curiosity as well.
I think that just segues us into talking about you.
Okay.
And your food and your history of food, your adventures in food, because I know that you're all over and we like having these discussions with you. You're like to share. So if you could share with us some of your most memorable food adventures.
Wow, most memorable food adventures. Well, I would have to say, since I am cooking the red beans and rice, New Orleans was one of the most amazing places that I've been to. Food, culture, you can just keep on eating nonstop, and there's always a new dish to try. One of the things I just love about travel is that you also just get a chance to meet different people in different areas. They teach you about the culture of the city, their food. Another one place I would say memorable food experience, probably in Peru.
Oh.
Yes.
Hi.
Yes. They have a big range of vegetables. Potatoes are actually known for. So many different ingredients there. Learned a lot, but I always gravitate back towards Caribbean. Yeah, get a little clap. Get a little clap. It's where my roots are. It's the first type of cuisine that I learned to cook. So it's really influenced me being able to dive back into my own culture and create new dishes, learn about different ingredients. It's actually fantastic that you can go to a place many times, and every single time you go there, you learn something new. When I was a kid, we used to take trips to Trinidad and we take trips to Grenada, and I would say probably that's where a lot of my curiosity got sparked, because you're always try this, and I was actually a very picky eater growing up. I did not want to eat everything. I'm just glad that I had parents that were very adamant on exposing me to a lot of different ingredients. And look at me now.
Say hi to Mom.
Yes.
I know she's watching.
She is. Mom's watching. She could not be here.
So just as you go back into that, I know that we talked about this last year, about a little bit of the history regarding some of the ingredients that people use when they're cooking. So back in the day, not every ingredient that we're able to access now were we able to access then. And even as a culture, as a community, there are certain things that we weren't able to get
Oh, absolutely.
as Black people. So I'm going to say, can you share a little bit about what your knowledge is in regards to that?
So my knowledge, especially when it comes to this type of cooking, is that a lot of really great dishes came out of poverty and a limited amount of ingredients. So no matter what we were not allowed to have, you actually make the best of what you do have, right? Prime example, ham hocks, right? It's really like the ankle of a pig, right? I know I never wants to hear that. It's not very glamorous, but you know, these were kind of like the end pieces that were always like discarded. Like nobody wants them. But you know, when you take an ingredient, and it's just a great way to show how versatile an ingredient can be. If you start with an ingredient that you think that nobody wants, you start adding a lot of other ingredients, spices, and then all of a sudden you have this wonderful dish that is cooked through the ages.
All right, I'm gonna let you get back to it.
All right. Okay, so this red beans and rice here. Thing I'm going to add to it is a little bit of hot sauce, not pepper sauce, hot sauce. This type of sauce goes with this dish. It's almost ready to go. Next dish. Pepper shrimp. Can I just say it one more time and everybody kind of give their. Okay, we'll try it like this. So next dish. Pepper shrimp. There we go. There we go. That sounded better the second time. Okay. So pepper shrimp. We're obviously starting with shrimp as our main ingredient. Now, get some here. So this is a very big shrimp, and the way that you buy shrimp is by count. So, for example, a very common size of shrimp is 21, 25 shrimp. So what does that mean? 21, 25 shrimp. 21, 25 shrimp means that you will get 21 to 25 shrimp in a bag. It's not exact. It's like the weatherman. Chances are, you know, but these ones. So as the number goes down, the size of the shrimp gets bigger. So these are 8 to 12 shrimp per pound. I'm going to share that with you guys. Little bit of this coconut oil in there. I'm going to give it a little bit of ginger. A little bit of chili powder. This is something that you can, marinate maybe like an hour or two before. The thing about shrimp and a lot of seafood is that it doesn't always need a long time to be seasoned and marinated. This one, especially because I'm using dry spices, they just stick right to it. You're not really going to need that depth or any liquid in there to keep it to really penetrate the flesh. Okay, so we're going to get a hot pan. Yes. Is there any gain or loss from cooking it with the shell versus without? With the shell, you can actually get a little bit more flavor. The shell does have flavor. So I would never push anyone away from that. When I'm serving it to guests as an appetizer, I don't always want people having to have to unpeel it. But that's a very good question, and there is nothing wrong with the shell. See? Oh yeah. So we get some onions in there. I'm going to get a little bit of bell pepper in there as well. Got the Scotch bonnet. You guys can handle a little bit of Scotch bonnet. You guys did really good with that, right? So I think I got a little more faith in you guys now. Not that I didn't before. I just have more now. Since we're going to put some pepper sauce in here, I'm just going to put half a pepper in. Take it easy on you guys. Like a little bit. And again, these ingredients are just adding a lot of body to what's going on in here. So again, give it a good season. We don't really need these onions caramelized, nor do we need these peppers. We just want to get them nice and soft. Take one step back. That Scotch bonnet, it's coming for me. So now let's get some shrimp in here. Okay. I'm pretty sure we got enough there. Now there's a lot of really great aromas coming off this right now. Just the smell of the shrimp, the spices on the shrimp. And again, I'm moving it around the pan a lot because these are going to cook fairly quick. Guess what's going in there next? That's a very good question. What is the difference between pepper sauce and hot sauce? Pepper sauce is usually made like straight from peppers. Hot sauce typically is is made from like usually like more of like a powder, and they're usually like a lot more vinegary. That's kind of one of the main differences. They still can be made from peppers, but hot sauce is just usually more vinegary, and like you see, this has a lot more like body to it. That's a very good question. Okay, so let's get some of that in there. Only one person clapping, everyone just it's kind of hot there, chef. It's okay. Ooh, I'm smelling that. Okay, so something else that I have here is some chili sauce. Now, what is chili sauce? You'll find it in the grocery store right beside the ketchup. I didn't want to use ketchup in here. It's not a chef thing. I'm not too good for ketchup. It's just that this is a little bit of a different condiment. So it has a lot of the same ingredients of ketchup, but there is less sugar, less vinegar, and there's actually some spices. So there's a little bit of like onion powder in here, a little bit of garlic salt, a little bit of chili powder as well. Get that in there. And this will help mellow it out. It will bring a little bit of a sweetness to it as well. I'm going to finish it off with some green onions in there as well. And then we just want to kind of just give this a really nice mix in here. And again, if you want us to do put the shells on, feel free. Again, like I said, I prefer serving, little bites of appetizers, especially to you guys here. You guys could just kind of just pick at. I think that's done. I'm going to taste that sauce. See how pepper this pepper shrimp is. Good. Good. It's not. Well, there we go. There we go. I like that. This will be a treat to you guys. Montgomery, do you want to help? I'm going to put in here for a good picture. And you'll give it a pepper on top of it. There we go. Pretty good for you. All right. So now I know what to expect. Food's coming around. I will lose your attention momentarily again. It's quite all right. So while that is happening, so while I don't have your attention, I am going to pull this ham hock out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull off the skin and I'm going to shred all that meat that's inside there, and then it's going to go back in the dish. When you shred that ham hock, you don't need to keep the skin. Please discard the skin. Come off quite easy. How's the pepper shrimp? See, right? It's not too bad. You can get the heat kind of creeping in at the end. I appreciate you guys coming out. That's why I took it easy on you guys today. Now, yeah, I'm just getting at all this meat from the ham hock. You know, this is very hot. You probably should wait for the ham hock to cool down a little bit. Don't try this at home, kids. Keep in mind, I'm a trained professional. So we're getting like these really nice chunks of meat here. I'm just going to spread this up, throw it back in there. Ooh, this is hot. Go somewhere else. No, no. So if you don't, I just kind of always wanted to say that. So what you can do if say you do not eat pork, you do not dine the swine. What you can do is you can use something like maybe some turkey sausage in here as well. I know some places you can actually get like smoked turkey neck. So something like that would do really well. And you're just going to get, not the exact flavor as this, but you're going to get some really fantastic flavors out of it too. You're welcome. So again, this dish, like I said, this is why I started first, because it takes a little bit of time. It takes a little bit of time. It's one of those labor of love things, but the results are incredible. This is, like I said, this is typically eaten on a Monday in New Orleans, but I don't think any of you guys mind having it on a Thursday, do you? It'll be okay. Yeah, just putting it back in there, getting some really good chunks of that ham hock in there. And what's really going to be amazing is that first day is really good, but that second day is next level. But you're going to have to add some water to it, just because there are a lot of beans in there. That starch from the beans is going to thicken up everything really quick. Pardon me? No, I think it was just more tradition. That's a good question. Very good question. So from a simple dish that was turned to from just Mondays, I'm telling you, I could eat this dish any day of the week. All right, typically served with white rice. And if you see what I'm doing here, I'm just kind of mashing some of the beans the side of the pot. We don't want it mushy, but squishing those beans kind of gives it that, I don't know, that comfort food type of feeling. Usually this sits for a little bit, because if you could see right now, like it is a little bit watery, which is fine. There is nothing wrong with that. If you let it sit, it's going to start thickening up on its own. Are we about ready with the samples? All right. Now you guys going to get to try this. It's red beans and rice. So everything's been good so far. The shrimp went down pretty quickly, like no complaints, no nothing. I think there's a few more. Yeah, we're out. No more. No more. Right, and now we just have some of those red beans and rice coming out at you. Questions that can guide you in life. No, we can just talk about food then. We'll talk about food then.
This kind of reminds me of, from the Caribbean standpoint, of like a stew piece.
Absolutely, absolutely. That like that. For one, that color.
Yep.
Right, and it is being stewed, and a lot of times you are doing it with like like some ham or
Pigtail.
pigtail. Love that pigtail. So this dish actually originated in Haiti.
Okay.
So it has a little bit of a Caribbean feel to it, but I could just sit here all day and just kind of stir and get lost in this.
It's very pretty.
It is.
Yes, it is very pretty.
It is. It's this dish gets prettier the more you know it. So when you look at it, it's not a lot of like vibrant colors like popping out at you, but this is one of those dishes that once you've had it and you've tried it, you see it again and you get very excited about it. I think Montgomery's got some coming around to you guys right now. Question. Pardon me? Yeah, smoked turkey. Smoked turkey would be a great alternative. I know not everybody goes for pork. It's fine. Vegetarian option, I would just use a turkey that just ate vegetables. No, I would, vegetarian option, you obviously can't use the sausage, you can't use the ham hocks, but, you can.
Beyond Meat or something?
Well, you can just use your, I don't know if I've used that Beyond Meat. We're opening up a whole can of worms here now.
What is it?
But you can do it without meat, right? Like if you're a vegetarian or vegan, you can do it without meat. You can use a little bit of a vegetable stock to it. Of course, you are going to get a little bit of a different flavor to it. Maybe a little bit of liquid smoke if you kind of want to bring that smokiness back to it. But besides that, you're getting a lot of your saltiness and smokiness from the sausage and the ham hocks.
I'm sure there'd be some creative way to do it, and they can share that.
Absolutely.
There has to be a way.
Absolutely.
Again, like you said, it's probably not going to be as delicious and as festive looking,
right?
But
again, you use what you are comfortable with. And again, that's another thing when you're cooking with recipes. If you look in the recipe and there's something that you don't like, then look for substitutions first. But a lot of times it can just be completely taken out, and you'll be fine.
Yep. Wow, this has been fantastic. Again, as always, I hope that we don't have to wait another year before we get to enjoy not only your company, but also your expertise. It's just so fantastic. So on behalf of Black History Manitoba, we thank you again for taking the time to do this with us.
Thank you
and
very much.
thank all of you for joining us.
Thanks everyone for coming out.
I hope you enjoy it. And please follow Chef Rob on whatever social media that you have.
On all of them.
And also like this, email me on Facebook or IG Twitter, wherever. Coming up, we still have a few more events for the month. So check out our BHMWinnipeg.com. We'll have the events there. We have our closing ceremony banquet on Saturday night. We've got the Musicians Without Borders has their orchestra event on Sunday night at Bethel Mennonite College.
Is there a comedy show happening too?
Oh, you missed it.
What?
There is, however, a poetry slam
A poetry
that
slam.
is happening
Okay.
on Sunday as well at
Okay.
the Afro-Caribbean Association. So there's lots still left. And our Jets game, Black History Month at the Jets game on Tuesday the 28th, 7 p.m. You still can get tickets.
I'm there.
VIP,
I'll be there.
regular
VIP?
seats.
Okay.
All who you know, Rob. It's all
the
who you
sounds of
know.
that. I like the sounds of that VIP.
We have it's a pretty good package. You get food, you get some beverages, and you get to meet Mr. Neufeld, Ray
Okay.
Neufeld from the historical Winnipeg Jets. So it's a great package.
What kind of food? They're gonna have some red
They're
beans and
not
rice.
gonna
though?
have the red beans and rice unless you're planning on coming
Okay.
bring that with you.
So
Bring your
will they have pepper shrimp there?
Okay, again, unless you were volunteering to be cooking
What?
at the game.
Well, I'll settle for the chickpea puffs if they have there, right? What?
Okay, again. So I am so sorry to
Oh.
disappoint you.
Okay.
So
okay,
sorry.
okay.
You only have to be here to get these
All right,
delicious
all right.
creations from Chef Rob.
But I'm sure it'll be a fantastic evening.
It will. So please join us. And we also have our gospel concerts on the 4th. So again, BHMWinnipeg.com. All the information is there. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much. Thank
We
you
will
all
see
for
you again
coming
very, very soon.
Thank you. Yeah, thank everyone on Instagram for coming out. This was, I don't know if you guys can see this, otherwise you can fall. But this is absolutely delicious, and I'll be eating this for days. So thank you. Oh, great. Hi, everyone. Nice to see you guys too. This is it. Watch for the replay. And we got nothing left to say.